Ladies and gentlemen in Switch chat, hello, how the devil are you? Welcome back. It's day 2 of this January Nova Cup. This is what it's all come down to, the semi-finals, the grand final straight after, and with me to help cast, I have none other than Kermit Burnt Das Brot, Julian T468, hello, welcome to the stream!
Hello everyone! I'm not as excited as Penny because I'm a bit tired, but I'm hyped for the second day and I'm happy to be back.
Excellent, excellent. And what a show we've got in front of us today, Julian, by the way. We've got Abrasiet versus Iron Shaker, game number 1. This already could be a finals, by the way. King Dan's and Widdowson versus Shay and Dark Quacker. The little man Shay has obviously won his fair share of tournaments already, though he does have a different partner this time around, so we'll see how the Shay Quacker matchup compares versus XGod, who's an amazing player, so a bit of a shame that he's not in this month, but hopefully he's back for the future tournaments. And yeah, what do you think about this one? Like, do you have a favourite team? Do you see one with a clear advantage, or do you think it's going to be close?
It's so hard to pick favorites, honestly, because everyone is very good. But I think it's very hard to go against King Dan's and Widdowson, just because, you know, they look to be in shape, and when they're in shape, they are very hard to beat.
Yeah.
But, you know, Shay is a great player. He won Nova Cup already, so betting against him and Quacker, who knows all the stats of every unit, is always very hard to do. So maybe slight advantage to King and Widder, but I'd be surprised to see a 2-0.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is that King and Widder have definitely been playing a lot of TFT. In the recent couple of months, so maybe they're feeling a little bit rusty. We'll have to see if Shay and Quacker can find the chicks in their armor.
Yeah, and of course King Dance is not known to be a mega Starve Lord, whereas Shay is very familiar with that playstyle, so...
Oh, he is a giga Starve Lord and a mega tryhard.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, this meta kind of goes in their favor, but we'll see. I'm very excited to see them perform.
Yeah, so likewise, I think whatever happens, it's going to be a hell of a show. And then on the other side of the bracket, which we haven't spoken about, we will sadly miss the second semi-final, but it is Isolde and Wezo, which is quite an interesting duo, both very highly rated players, and they are up against... it is Skills and Papai Zaita, right? Because we saw them beat Lucy and Drakir in the round 2 yesterday. That was a hell of a match. Wow, that was a really spicy match, actually.
Oh, yeah. I'm a bit sad you didn't say the team names, which is Tropical Escargot, which is French, and Rem on 7 Enjoyers, which is a very fitting team name for Isolde and Mr. Rostovchik.
It's just super appropriate for those guys, right? Like,
yeah.
It's not only the team name, but it's their entire game plan all wrapped up in one sweet little package.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea how that one is going to go, honestly.
I think that could go either way. I think if you're looking just on like the ratings, then obviously Isolde and Wezo have it because they're both. I think they're super high rated at the moment. Actually, let me check the leaderboards.
Yeah, they should be pretty far up there.
Oh wow, let me just switch the scene a second. So this is Wezo, Rostovchik, and Isolde on. They're ranked 2 and 3 currently. These guys are super highly rated at the moment, and Skills and Papai Zaita are obviously slightly behind, but I mean, so they're behind Drakir and Lucy as well, and we saw them handle those guys yesterday.
Yeah, and especially so Rostovchik and Isolde, they have their playstyle, which they are very, very good at.
Yep.
But I don't favor them in like weirdish game situations. Like, I don't want to trash talk or anything, but I think if there is a slight weakness to their play, then it might be that they aren't able to adapt to a different game state quite as well, maybe, just because they're so familiar with their quote-unquote Starvy play style. And with Skills and Papai going for their Fiesta and kind of coin flippy gameplay, you're forced to adapt and change your plans on the fly, like every wave.
Yeah, definitely. That's true. I think these guys maybe pigeonholed themselves a little bit too much down the Starve Lord path. But I mean, you know, you don't get to rank 2 and 3 without having some skill under the bonnet. Like, I'm sure they can play
very,
whatever.
very good. Yeah. They are very, very good. I think I favor them slightly as well over Skills and Papai. But against Skills and Papai, I don't think any team in the world has more than, say, a 60-65% win rate per game, because they are so good at gambling.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
And taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
So
even if they might be like slightly unfavored, they're just going to play super risky. And we saw that yesterday against Drakir and Lucy, right? Like they just go for this big risky play, and it's kind of all or nothing. If it works, they get a big lead. If it doesn't work, they lose the game. But you know, it works. It works. So
yeah, they have what we call balls of steel.
Oh yeah. Or Ballon d'Or, I think you would call it in French.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's what I would say, but yeah. It's gonna be an exciting final,
for sure.
No matter who wins the semis. I'm very looking forward to today.
Yeah, 100%. Same here. And we have got a lobby open, by the way. Currently, Abrasiat is here. We are waiting for their opponents to show up. So Shay and Quacker, get yourselves in here, my friends.
I mean, they're probably scared.
I don't blame them. Do you?
No. I mean, I lost to King Dance and Witherson in the finals, so I would be scared.
Yeah. These guys, I've heard they've won a game or two in their past.
Yeah, they have. Unfortunately, they are quite good.
They're quite good, yeah. What is it?
Decent.
Nine Nova Cup wins? No, not wins, right? Not wins.
No, I don't think 9 Nova Cup wins, but they have some wins in Nova Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, I think King Dance has like so many tournament wins that when you check his profile, like these achievement badges that you get, they like don't fit in one line anymore, which is just
yeah.
just shows you what type of player he is.
Let me bring up King's profile so that everyone can see. Holy moly, look at this. All of those gold medals from all the tournaments he's won. Number 1 Nova Cup from 2022. All of the Masters Cup gold places. The LIHL gold places. Legend in every season. The Ladder Goat from 2022. Like he's not a bad player.
Yeah, he's okay. And yeah, that's the one thing that's holding Witherson back from being like the tournament god, is that everyone can claim he's playing on easy mode by teaming up with King.
Yeah. Which he is, right? I think that's exactly what he's doing.
yeah, of course.
Unashamedly getting carried. Adams apparently wasn't deadlifting quite enough, so he found someone with a stronger back, and maybe the only person with a stronger back than Adams is King Dan, so...
yeah. I mean, we're joking, of course. Witherson is also a very, very good player, and he has carried some of the games where King has his off day. So they are very good.
All right, we're just waiting for the little man to show up, and then we'll be able to get the game underway. So Shay, I know you're playing from the past over there in Canada, but maybe show up in the lobby. Just a little show.
Maybe show up in the lobby. It's not like we could replace him with any other Canadian.
What is it about Canada, like the frozen wastelands of the north, that just makes these people starve like no other?
I don't know. Maybe they just don't have enough food because nothing grows there, and so they want everyone to starve with them.
Ah, dear. Well, at least we can do some padding while we wait for him. It's not like we've got anything else to wait for today. So how was your day, Julian? Did you have a nice Sunday, relaxing?
Well, it would have been more relaxing if I did decide to play with you and Green. And get try-harded on and lost. But
me and Green actually had some fantastic games just before starting the cast here. Like we played 4, 5, 6 just auto send and chill games in a row, which was incredible.
And you lost all of them?
I think we won at least most of them.
Nice. Good job, Penny.
It just shows that auto send is overpowered, right?
Yeah. Nerf auto send.
Nerf auto send, nerf Zeus. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Shay has arrived.
little man is here.
Il est
Pog.
arrivé. Okay, well, looks like we're going to have a game on our hands. Let's
Clap,
go.
clap, clap. Let's go.
Okay, starting, but I think he's teasing because we still don't have a lobby just yet. Come on, guys. Oh, here we go. Right, Twitch chat, game number 1 of your January Nova Cup semi-finals. Here it comes. We have Abrasiet on the left. That is Kingdans and Widdowson. We have I Am Shaker on the right. That is Dark Quacker. And the little man Shay, all the way from Canada. Game number 1. Let's go!
Let's go. And who's gonna be the slowest to load? It is going to be Shay. Yeah. That's good. Good start.
All right, Julian, can you do me a massive favour and introduce the Legion spells for us?
Yes,
Oh, I've got... There's something to talk about before the spells.
Kingdans picking Chaos. And by the way, one more thing. Kingdans tagline. Don't pick Castle or else.
Yeah.
And what did Widdowson pick?
Castle.
Oh, already they are molding.
But Widdowson not quite as skilled as he was when he played against me and you on the ladder earlier. Like, he's playing Castle, but he didn't roll Priestess Mask for some reason, which I think is a bit of a skill issue right there. Like, a good player would have rolled Priestess Mask here.
Oh, absolutely. I would have rolled Priestess and Mask.
Yeah.
But he did roll Looter, so he can abuse Pack Rats.
Which is pretty solid.
Good.
And this is a really good opener as well.
Yeah, the double Looter, 10 out of 10 would do again.
Widdowson, he's baiting the casters.
Of course.
Oh. Quacker, I'm not loving his role, and Shay, I am really not loving his role either. I think Kingdans and I mean, we can't really talk about Kingdans' role, right? But
Can we not?
Yeah, the double spaced out Tempest.
I think Widdowson was re-rolling. And just put down 2 looters in case he re-rolls the tier 1.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Okay. And Shay
really
with the Sakura opener. I mean, that's just 0 pressure for Widdowson, so he can have a pretty free game now with his Wildshroom Angler Pack Rat build. I think Widdowson might just end up rolling away with this. We can't really talk about Kingdans' role, obviously, because he's playing Chaos, which just means there is no forward planning.
Yeah, exactly. But, you don't need to plan forward if you can perfectly read what the enemy is gonna do, like Kingdans can.
Yeah.
So he can just play Chaos and then figure out what to do from there.
Yeah. Just build the best unit on every wave, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Shay has Looter with Sakura. I haven't played that. I think it has to be very strong. Because I consider Sakura a strong opening. And Pack Rat just feeds right into that, right?
Yeah. And Shay staying on the 2 workers, going with the Pack Rat, like you say. So he knows that he's really slow in this opener. And I think the Pack Rat actually covers some of those weaknesses quite well, because it gives a lot more Mythium per gold in the early game than workers do, right?
Yeah.
And it also uses his gold more effectively with the Sakura. Like, the Sakura has something like 83 gold after wave 1, which means you can push 1 worker and then sit there with 30 gold doing nothing until halfway through wave 2. So the Pack Rat uses that gold way more efficiently, gets more Mythium than he would have done with a single worker, and crucially, when he is feeling under pressure on like wave 7 and 10, for example, he can just have all that extra value pop up out of the ground to help him hold the wave.
Yeah, exactly. And also Sakura is a very fast clearing opener, usually. So, you have quick waves, which you really want for Pack Rat.
Yep. Now, Kingdans here receiving a Lizard. It's going to leak quite a lot, actually. But what is this? Because he actually was quite skilled in his role to get the Gargoyle, the Wildshroom here.
That's his wave 4 roll.
Oh, this is wave 4 roll. No, it's not. It's not.
It is.
It changes in the build phase, no?
No. It changes on wave start. That was changed like 2 years ago because Chaos was horribly underpowered.
Ah, well, I'm getting old.
Yeah. That's fine.
I'm getting old. I've been old. I am old.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, to be in my defense, I would never play Chaos. So
Yeah, that makes you a nicer human being than King Dance.
yeah, YOLO or no balls.
Exactly. I'm so surprised why Quacker is not putting the two Tempests next to each other. Like, that way he has to put one more Tempest in the middle if he ever wants to, like, use a Leviathan aura.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you
But
probably
you never
don't
really want a
upgrade.
Leviathan or yeah, I was gonna say you don't want a
Yeah.
Leviathan aura just buffing a single Tempest and nothing else anyway. So I think it's fine, and maybe you get better aggro. It looks like he's got pretty nice aggro here.
Yeah. But I don't think he would have leaked with them together because he's on
No.
enough value and it's Income King.
Yeah. Shay and Quacker both have the power of value right here.
Yeah. But they are not,
Whoa.
like, they are ahead in workers now, but obviously, like, okay, Power Score also says they are ahead, but you can't disregard the fact that Witherson is on Chaos. Castle, and King Dance is on Chaos, so they will be stronger in the late game, just naturally due to their Mastermind options.
Witterson's got that Castle power spike looming, but also the Kingpin power spike. So, you know, post wave 10, he's not only going to have the plus 45 income, he's also going to have all of that bonus value that you get when you upgrade your Kingpin. So he's going to have like a slower early game, sure, be a little bit behind the other players until first the Kingpin power spike comes online around wave 7, 8 most likely, and then of course the Castle power spike on 11.
Yeah. And then they can play around like mid-game aggression, which they are very, very good at, using their power spikes correctly. And now King got a send with Violet Nightmare, and he's going to be strong on 6 and 7, so I expect him to push very, very hard, and probably aim for a wave 7 send to punish the Sakura, even though there is a casket, so there's a chance he inks here. No, he doesn't.
Okay, and Shay is going for the Cannoneer send here into Witterson, who is still hunting his pack rat. He's not feeling the pressure here. Of course, he has a canopy with lifesteal. What am I talking about? He's obviously hunting his pack rat here.
Yeah, I mean, even if he was to leak very small, it's fine for him. But I don't think he will, because Canopy is very strong on wave 6.
Yeah.
And Shay isn't even full sending, he's keeping some Mythium.
Yeah. But when does he hope to leak Witterson then? Because, like, he just has a free wave 7 now with the lifesteal canopy, and for wave 8 he's just going to have that big stacked Kingpin with lifesteal, so Witterson's got a pretty easy game mapped out for himself now.
Oh yeah, and King is pushing really hard off of this send now. He already pushed 2 workers. I think he wants to break the Sakura next. Or they want to go for a big leak on 8, I don't know. No, he's going 7.
Okay. Now, how is Shay going to do? Well, he has an Iron Maiden, so I think he's going to do just fine. We still could see the Sakura dying, depending how the aggro pulls. Yeah, the pack rat is a little bit greedy.
I mean, he's essentially on value, so I understand why he's hunting. Let's see how it goes. If his Sakura lives, then he's very, very happy. If it dies, he's going to be very sad.
Yeah. Hey, he's +5 with an Iron Maiden on wave 7. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he should be fine. But the one spell only hits half the wave? Probably still
Witterson was actually pretty undervalued here, and Shay only sent a Fiend and a King up.
Yeah, but he's always fine with Lifesteal Canopy against an 80 send on this wave.
And Shay does protect his Sakura, so those hits will live to see another day.
12 workers on King Dance, though.
Oh, that is pretty juicy. And Wilson's starting to catch up now on 8 workers and 1,000 value. There's that Kingpin power spike we were talking about. And he just has the easiest game now. He's going to receive a resend here from Shay on wave 8. He's just going to push infinite workers.
Yeah, he's got to push all of the workers that he can. Just one thing I want to mention is that he doesn't really have expensive units in his role, and he did already reroll on wave 1. So even though he will have a castle power spike, he doesn't really have a great sort of
That's
late game.
true. Yeah,
thing
he doesn't. He really
transition
doesn't have a
into.
late game at all. His most expensive
So-
unit is Butcher, which is an aura, so he doesn't have a carry unit.
So I think he will end up having to, like, I think King and Wither will have to play around the mid game where they have a very strong advantage.
Yeah, but they're going to have to start going for some starves, right? Because if this game goes hyper late, I don't really
Yeah.
see. I mean, Widdowson, he just can't scale past like wave 13, really.
Yeah, I think he's fine on 14, but after wave 14, he's going to struggle. And then
Yeah.
it depends what King Dance rolls. But they have a worker lead and they have a ton of Mythium saved up. So I'm curious to see when they will go. Probably wave 10, just looking at Quacker and Shay because of the Sakura.
Yeah. Now, Quacker looks pretty strong on 10 with the Leviathan Circle, but Widdowson has a lot of Mythium as well, right? So, like an Ogre and a Mole is going to put paid to his hopes and dreams there, I think.
Yeah, ideally you want to send a Siege Ram, I think, but he's not gonna get it. But we should mention Shay is staying on 8 workers, but he does have 2 pack words, which he can unhunt. And he's already on plus 90 value, staying true to himself. So I think he might just be fine, despite not having the best units for wave 10.
Yeah, there's that Ogre from Widdowson. I don't think he'll skip income for the Mole. In fact, the wave is too short, so he wouldn't get it anyway.
He
But
is
he is
skipping
skipping.
income.
Oh,
I
wait,
think
he has a rat. I forgot about the rat. That's more
If he
Mythium.
pushes 1 worker instantly, he gets it, but I don't think he will.
Oh, he's going to be so close, though. Like,
No,
he's
he doesn't get it.
No, he doesn't. He's
150.
going to be like 3 or 4 Mythium away from it.
Yeah. Wonder what he's gonna send.
And Shay is saving here. But Shay has 1,610 value on wave 10.
Yeah. Yeah, he should be fine.
I don't think he will be fine. Most of it is very bad value on wave 10.
Yeah, true. Let's see. He does kill the brute instantly.
Yeah.
Now it
But
depends.
he's not sniping the ogre, so that's going to get its damage in.
He's not attacking it though.
Yeah. Bit of partial focus.
he's
Now the
partially
gate creeps, the
focusing.
AoE
Oh.
creeps are on it.
Oh.
Hey, he
Well,
will
he does
kill it
kill it,
though,
at
actually.
least.
That's pretty good. But yeah,
But he's
that's
still
going to be a leak.
leaking pretty big.
And a leak
Quacker
from
doesn't
Quacker as
hold.
well, who did very well actually against the 300 send. And King
That's the
Dan's
problem
leaking
with
as well.
Sakura. Like, on your weak waves, you are just so weak because you have
Yeah.
essentially like 400 of your value is in that magic damage unit that doesn't really tank on wave 10.
Yeah. And just does 0 damage there as well.
Yeah.
So this, Widdowson is never getting stronger than he is right now.
Yeah.
You know, his role is topped out here, 11 and 12, his best waves in the game, his castle power spike is there, his kingpin power spike has already been online for a few waves, but he will start to fall off from this point on. Like, his role is just not getting any stronger than it is right now.
Yeah. And we have Shay and Quacker saving, so they are sort of putting pressure on King Dance and Widdowson, so they can't really giga push and scale or giga push and go for a kill play with the mid-game power spike that they hit.
Yeah. Worth pointing out that Shay is starving while having 9 workers, so that's a bit less pressure than it might otherwise have been. Now, he has got 2 pack rats, so that helps. And a double
He's
Sakura.
going for the scale. He's going for the scaling,
Yeah.
but he's on 100 income with Widdowson being on almost 200 income.
Yeah, that is the problem.
That is a bit of a problem, because even if the Sakuras, like if they get a stack per wave, and they get 2 after wave 10, that's 60 gold per wave that he's gaining for free, but he's losing 97 to Widdowson every wave. So even though it looks like he's gaining a lot, he is actually not.
Yeah, that's true. Villain on the Sakura as well is fine. But it's not the same as villain on a melee unit, right? Like, you get twice the benefit from a melee villain than you do with a ranged villain.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure what their play is. Do they all go 13? Is that the plan here, or?
I wonder if it's just like straight 14 from Shay and Quacker. Because 13 is actually looking pretty good for Widdowson and Kingdance. Like, obviously, Kingpin is weak there, but he has a bunch of Orchids. And no, here comes the 13 cent.
Yeah, I don't think this is a great play. I wonder if King and Wither are gonna save. Kingdance just full shifted here, by the way. He shifted like 400 gold in hopes of rolling a better unit for next. Which...
And he didn't, but he already had the Arctear upgrade available, so he goes for that, which I think is a fine play.
Maybe he's gonna go for a King Claw or an Ocean Templar. Ocean Templar obviously being a very, very strong unit for the future.
Yeah.
And they go for Income King, realizing that the Send is gonna come here, so very good read from them.
Yeah, but they're both on value. Like, Widdowson, when he finishes building, he's going to be minus 30. Kingdance is going to be minus 100. And their builds are certainly not weak on this wave. And they both have Villain as well, which is perfect on 13.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they will just hold, to be honest.
I think this send was a mistake. I think they needed to go straight 14 or even 15 from Shay and Quacker.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if you stay that low workers.
Now, Widdowson's Kingpin not tanking for his Orchids, but it just doesn't matter. He's easily holding. It's not even close.
King is also easy holding.
Kingdance, yeah. This is starting to look quite rough now for I Am Shaker. This was their big play. Shay starved a long time for this. And Widdowson's just not even remotely phased.
Yeah. And now he's just gonna hunt and push workers. But not too many, I guess.
I think if I was Widdowson, I'd just make 3 pack rats here and hunt them all.
Yeah.
Just have that pocket value for when you need it.
Yeah. Yeah, but like obviously you're expecting a send on 16 now, right? Or do they expect 15 maybe?
I would expect 16, yeah, but I mean, like, you just can't really plan against chaos. And Widdowson is actually not looking bad on 16 with the Orchid spam.
Yeah. Oh, did Shay kill his one Sakura? Is it dying?
Oh, the villain. It's
the villain Sakura.
One more sword is hacking it, and it goes down. Minus 60 value for Shay.
No, minus 30.
Minus 30. No, minus 60.
I
was right first time. There he goes. Sakura number 2.
Oh, they go 15. Okay, yeah, with this leak, I can understand it. I mean,
but King and Widdowson have got to be ready for this now, seeing that Shay leaks to no send. Kind of an indication that he's pushed pretty hard.
Yeah, and they want to force the send on their strong wave, where Quacker has Azaria Steed, which is kind of... It is a good play, but maybe they needed to commit even harder for this. With like a full suicide, because they're already behind. Like, what are you gonna lose? If they don't send here, you're always like losing, and if they send here to match you, Quacker just holds, right? And then you get a 17 all in or something.
Now Widdowson is fully boosting, so that's 80 gold into his Orchids, but that should give him a hold here. The send is really not that big from Shay. And Kingdan's actually not really rolling anything for this wave, but does harden his golem, so he does anticipate the send.
And we have the looter spam from Widdowson as well.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, I think King is gonna leak,
there, but it's fine.
I think King is gonna leak massively.
King should leak. Like, he's really undervalued with not great units on this wave.
But then again, does it really matter? You know, even if Widdowson also leaks, which he probably doesn't, they can never die here because of tenacity.
Yeah.
And then they can probably go for a kill on either 16 or 17, whatever they want.
I think Widdowson will leak. Oh, well, that has lifesteal, actually.
He will leak, but he just the 4 eyes.
Double shutdown, so that's 100 gold each for Shay and Quacker. But yeah, Kingdance and Widdowson, they saved past this. And sure, they're going to take some damage here, like 30%, 40%, but they don't come close to dying, and now they can just go whenever they want with that crazy amount of Mythium. And whenever they want happens to be wave 16.
Is now, yeah, exactly. And Quacker and Shay are saving, which is very, very dangerous, because they are not at 100% king, so they can die. If they would be at 100%, I don't think they can actually die here. And they don't have any spell upgrades, so they can't just hope to survive with 75% king and, you know, leaking 100% each.
Yeah, Shea's also building for 17 with the Hellgate. I think they just expected that they wouldn't be able to send after receiving a send themselves on 15. They're probably thinking it's going to come on 17, but they're going to be rudely surprised, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine to gamble because they are behind, but
He's a
I
big
think
sense.
they have lost this.
Yeah,
I think they've lost this gamble.
The Needler is wasting all of its time attacking White Manes and Antlers, but I just don't really think it matters.
Yeah, it's still, of course, going to be like Hellgates on 16, which are crazy strong.
No Ocean Templar Aura for the Hellgates, though. No White Mane either.
Yeah, so it's gonna be big leaks, but is this enough to kill them? Are we sure about this? I'm not sure about this with New King.
And there's no spell upgrades at all. And there's 2 Needlers. I feel like they should die, but I just don't know.
You never know. First it looks like they will die for sure, and then Tenacity kicks in.
Yeah.
And then everything does like 0 damage.
Oh, one more spell!
Oh!
Oh! Wow! 1 spell upgrade, and they would have survived.
Yeah, but I don't think they would have won the game.
That was, yeah, they were pretty far behind at that point.
Yeah.
But, wow, I mean, Widdowson showing that he doesn't need a good roll to win these games. That was his castle game.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it... I mean, it's not a bad roll. Like, I wouldn't call it a bad roll.
Yeah, it's a good early game roll, right? And it was really good against the Sakura start, because he could just play very aggressive, hunt his rat every wave, get all of that bonus Mythium, and we saw there wasn't really any aggressive plays made until wave 10, where both Quacker and Shay leak, they take 30% king damage, and then King Dans and Widdowson, they kind of just chill, send a bit of income on 13 to guarantee their holds there. And then they just go for this kill on 16, so they accept the leaks on 15, give away a bit of a shutdown, but they know they can't die with a fully upgraded king and tenacity, so they just go for these massive sends on 16. And yeah. That's game 1. So well played, Abrasiert.
Yeah, well played, Abrasiert. That's a very strong showing, especially since King didn't get a great Chaos RNG. So he really played well around his options.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
His role certainly could have been better. Yeah.
Yeah, and Witter played very well with his castle, not gonna lie.
Yeah, he did. And really good use of the rats and the boost there from Widdowson. It seems like every time there was a send, he boosted his orchids. Every time there wasn't a send, he hunted his rats. Like, this was just solid all-around play from these guys, which I guess is what we expect from Abrasiert.
Yeah, they just read the game perfectly, which is what they are known for, which is, yeah, very, very impressive.
Mm-hmm. All right, so game number 2 is about to start. Can Shay and Quacker bring it back? Can they tie the series? Will we see a game 3? Or are Abrasiert too strong, going to 2-0 their opponents and wipe the board with them? What do you think?
Well, this game was a super strong showing, so I don't want to bet against King and Witter, but I would really love to see 3 games. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say Shay and Quacker will do it. And I hope that Shay doesn't go for a Sakura again, with like trying to outscale King Dance and Witter. I think that's the wrong approach to the game.
I think you need to be more aggressive against King Dance and Widdowson, right? Like, they both play very greedy in the early game. Widdowson especially, I think, normally plays quite greedy. And yeah, like if you're going a 2-worker opener against him, he's just going to have free reign, and that's exactly what we saw in game 1.
Yep. But Witter can't pick Castle again, and King Dance can't pick Chaos again. So their strongest options, obviously, that they have, which they picked for game 1, are going to be out.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what they go for now. But I wouldn't say that Widdowson and King Dance don't have like a deep mastermind option pool.
Oh, for sure. Like both of them can play everything. That's just a given at this level of the game, right?
Yeah. I think everyone at this level of the game can play every mastermind option decently.
I think Widdowson and King Dance can play every mastermind option very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Like, King Dance lock-in performances haven't been that great, but mainly because he locks in Looter or Ranger.
Yes.
And then does some troll build with it. So...
All right, well, enough guessing from the casters. Let's see what these guys are going to pick as game number 2 is underway.
Oof. Greed and cash out.
Cartel and redraw from Widdowson. Interesting.
Redraw. Really, the Quacker special. Oof.
I mean,
Interesting.
his starting role is already very good.
Yeah. See, he could have just picked Greed and had 2 more income. What's he doing there? He's not starting Mask. Come on, Witherson, you're not...
He's just baiting the casters.
Oh no, he's re-rolling. He's re-rolling already. He's doing what he did last time. He's putting the Mask there and trying to find something good. In case he wants to re-roll the Mask. He wants to have the option to build like 1 Hellraiser or something for the early game, probably.
Yeah.
And now he can re-roll his Mask for a different tier 1 if he wants.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. Shay rolling the Priestess with Steed and Elite Archer. I think that's a very decent, very good roll, especially with the Buzz for the early game.
The Buzz really opens it up, because you're kind of only weak on 4 in the very early game, and the consort obviously is amazing there, so...
Yeah. What is Quacker doing? He's doing an LOD start with Pack Rat.
Okay, that's interesting. So he can stay low workers, he can hunt his rat, he can get that LOD out on wave 3.
Oh. And King Dance starting with the double treasure hunt gate guard, and he's getting snailed. Let's see if he can get a good RNG, but he does not, I think.
That's a nice call there from Shay to send the snail, and it will kind of disadvantage King Dance because he wants a fast wave for his looters, but not really, right? Like, he's absolutely fine to leak here. 3 creeps against the snail.
The leak is very small nowadays with gate guard, and the thing is, like, he did king up into the Graal, which usually is very good for the Graal, because then he can stay Graal, push, and, you know, get LOD or whatever he wants on wave 3. But now he can't, because King Dance is on 3 workers, and with the double treasure hunt, he can resend 40. Mm-hmm. So if Quacker, like, hunts here, and doesn't add, he's just gonna leak to the DT very, very hard.
Yeah, but I think he's just not going to hunt, right? Like, he knows that King has the double hunt Mythium. He knows that the wave was very long with the leak, and he's making the right decision here to play it safe.
Yeah, but then he's on 3 workers, you know, for a long wave without a hunt, which is a win in itself.
Yeah,
because now Witherson, again, he has no pressure on him with a double angler opener.
Yeah. Yeah. And things are just already starting to go the way of King Dance and Widdowson.
I mean, 6 workers, right? Of course, Shay is also 6 workers with his Pota after getting the snail, so that's good. He's keeping up, but yeah, still.
Yeah, but Widdowson is literally double the worker count of Quacker here. And sure, he gets the LOD, but he even miscounted, because he could have pushed another worker way earlier.
Yeah, that's... I think he didn't know if he was going to get 2 snails in income, probably, and then didn't want to risk losing the game on pushing 1 more worker early.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. But again, you know, it's not ideal, and now Wither gets the snails. I think he's just gonna be fine with his gargoyle, right? And next he just gets bounty hunter anyway.
I mean, his anglers are dying, but they're full stacks anyway, so he really doesn't mind. And maybe it's a leak, but it won't be a big one, and maybe it's just a full hold as well.
If it's a small leak, then I'm not so sure Shay is going to be very happy.
Oh, he holds. Okay. Yeah, that's probably good for Shay that he holds there, actually. And there's the bounty hunter that we spoke about. Doesn't send here, though.
Yeah, he's putting pressure on Shay because he knows he's fine. And Shay can't push off of the snail anyway. So now Shay has to, like, stay on 6 workers until he gets a send. Double DT.
He's actually going for the archer here. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's fine. He doesn't need... anything else. But let's see how Kingdance does against the double DT with his 3 pack rats and Devilfish build.
He just has the power of value, right? Like, he has no damage on this wave, but he just has infinite value, infinite tanks.
Yeah, I think it's fine, but
yeah,
it's not the best build for wave 4 I have ever seen.
It's not the best build for wave 4, but King's probably kicking himself that he didn't treasure hunt 1 here because he held this so easily.
But Quacker greeted really hard. He got no send and held with an undead dragon on 20% HP, and that gave him Hermit in income.
Yeah,
which might be very good against Witherson. So let's see if Witherson can hold here with the Green Devil, or if his greed, comes back to bite him on this wave.
He might end up leaking here. Green Devil obviously very good on wave 5 in terms of damage, and also very good against the Hermit. Like, the Hermit's going to deal 0 damage against that, but the rest of his units are pretty bad here.
Okay, Kingdance unhunted one of his rats. He was on 360 value, and probably Widow was probably like furiously pinging him. Hold here, man, hold! Because I'm not.
And there's no send against Kingdance as well. So now Kingdance, it's his turn to flame Witherson. Why did you make me unhunt my pack rat? I get no send. Easy hold.
Yeah. And they are saving for wave 7, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But does Shay read this play, if it is indeed the play, and just full shift for a Trinity Archer or an Azaria on wave 6? Yeah, he should, especially looking at Quacker.
But it's a really hard call to make.
Yeah, but if you look at Quacker, Quacker has no solution for wave 7. If he gets a slight send on wave 7, he's dead. So they have to do something to protect themselves against the obvious wave 7 play.
Wait a minute. Quacker. Grawl next wave. Hades on 4. Hello? Hades on 7.
Yeah. Given that he's building a Green Devil, I don't think he's going for the Hades on 7.
That's a shame.
Yeah, and I'm also not so sure it's a great play, but
maybe
it is the best play he has.
Hades on 7 is just unlimited dragons.
But Shay is shifting, right? He's shifting 50 gold.
That should be enough to get the Archer, right? 50 gold shift?
With sending and selling 1 buzz or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but the income sent into Witherson is just so juicy now. They get a long wave. Both get Mimics and income. Ooh, Wither might even get an Ogre if he chooses to go for one.
Witterson's going to pro league here as well, which is really bad actually for Shay and Quacker.
Yeah, I don't know. How much does he leak though? Is it 3 creeps?
3 creeps, yeah. Maybe. Does he even get this last one? Oh, right.
No way.
50%. Okay. So a bit more than a pro leak, but again, this is just the longest wave in recorded human history, and there's going to be an easy Ogre there from Withers.
Yeah, there's the Ogre. Kingdance does get a Mimic here, so there's some counter pressure, but usually this counter pressure is not worth it if you don't get any king damage.
The Mimic's not even that good against Kingdance, right? Like, he already has those Tempests on the board, upgrades 1 into a Leviathan, he has the Gate Guard as well, so he could have just gone for Harbinger. I don't know. I really don't like the Mimic there from Shay. He could have just gone Income King.
Yeah, I think that would have been the better play, but I think he was already committed in his mind to league Kingdance here.
Yeah. He was committed to the Teehee.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta commit to the Teehee.
What I will say is a big problem here is that Shay just, like, he got the Archer, sure, which is amazing this wave, but there's just very few tanks in front of it, and the Priestess doesn't tank for it either.
Yeah, but he's only leaking an Ogre, which is fine.
Yeah,
1 low HP creep. But Quacker is feeding the Mimic with his dragons.
Oh yeah. 15 gold. 18 gold.
But he's doing very well.
21 gold.
Yeah. He's doing a lot better than I thought though, but he's also a lot lower workers than anyone else in the game.
27 gold on that Mimic. Kingdance is just lapping all the way to the bank.
Yeah. And, Kingdance even held his send, so they take king damage on Quacker and Shay. They have less workers. Witherson has a better role scaling-wise with the Bounty Hunters, so it's looking really good for them. The one thing that Quacker and Shay have going in their favor is that King Nance is playing Cartel. So he will take that, how much is it? 36 income penalty on wave 11. So
Yeah.
maybe that's something they can play for.
Yeah, but he absolutely has the build to scale regardless. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just going to be pretty comfortably ahead of everybody else by the time wave 11 comes around, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at income, they are now... I mean, if you compensate for Mythium, King Dance is only like 10 income ahead of Quacker and Shay.
But look at this.
Yeah. I think they are very far ahead. I'm just saying that it's not quite as bad as it looks.
Yeah, true.
But this income send is gonna feed Witherson even more.
Oh, yeah.
Like he might actually get like 150 stack Kingpin in a tournament game. Because he's pushing again. He's gonna be on 900 value for wave 9
Yeah.
in a tournament game. King is massively on fire, and Wither is just gonna have Kingpin whenever he chooses to, which is going to be wave 10.
Yeah. I think Witherson can absolutely pat himself on the back here and go for a bit of an enabled, disabled call.
Yeah. But King also saved onto Quacker. It's not like King was incoming every wave.
No. Alright, so everybody's saving their Mythium here, but we do see a very clear advantage on the side of Witherson and Kingdance, who both have more than 200 already saved up, and a worker advantage, and a triple pack rat from Kingdance as well. Yeah. This is starting to look scary, and here comes a wave 10 send. So Witherson sends the Ogre.
To send here.
Ah, sure, there's Creditor. How did they manage to open their mercenary box?
Yeah. And Quacker is reading the play. He shifted 100 gold and added a Berserker, I think on 8 or 9. I'm not sure when he added it.
And full hunting. Yeah, that's a nice play there from Quacker.
That's
good
a
read.
very good play. That's a very good call in that situation.
Yeah, because you have to feel under the pressure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now he's just gonna get Fatalizer, right? Right, Quacker? Yes, he does. Good.
Keeps his rats above ground, even adds a little harpy for good measure. This should be a very easy hold from Quacker. Very, very easy. Even though like a lot of his value is dead, just the Fatalizer is so strong this wave.
Yeah, Witherson gets the Kingpin, 145 stacks. He can still leak to this end, because it's his only damage unit, and Brutes can kind of ruin it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
the rest
how
of his
King
stuff is very weak here as well for Witherson.
Yeah, King should do fine because he has the Fire Lord. He's gonna tank the boss pretty long, and then he has very good damage.
I mean, Kingdance is plus 75 value with a Leviathan Circle. I think he's just very easily holding here.
Yeah, Shay added a Berserker, but I think he's still leaking.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
That's a pretty big leak there for Shay, but Quacker is holding as expected, although not as well as I thought he would. I thought he'd still have, you know, Fatalizer alive with half of its HP.
Yeah, but he didn't. And Witherson leaks as we said he could.
Yep.
But now everyone just gets
this
free Creditor, right?
Yeah, and they're going to take a lot of King damage actually from Shay's leak on the right hand side.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And I mean, just look at the power scores, look at the worker counts.
Yeah.
Kingdance takes the
Predator.
Kingdance takes the cartel penalty here, but is still ahead of Shay in income.
Is Shay considering not taking cred? Okay, he's taking cred. Okay. So what's the play now? I mean, I don't. If you're Shay and Quacker, what can you go for? What's a play?
It just feels really hard, right? Because we know they can never one-shot Kingdance and Witherson because tenacity is in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What is their option? They're at 27% King HP. Kingdance and Witherson can never die in a single wave, so they can just save their Mythium as long as they want and send whichever wave they decide to send on.
Yeah, I think the only way King and Wither can lose this is if they decide to send within the next 2 or 3 waves.
Yeah, and like give a free hold to Shay and Quacker.
Yeah, and then can get like Heat back or something.
Yeah.
But I think they can just save, especially with Creditor, they will just save past 13 They will probably even save past 15 and just go 16 or something.
Oh, and Quack is actually leaking the no send here.
Yeah. Is he?
One dragon versus one Quillbore.
It's epic rap battles of history.
Oh, it's close.
Oh,
but the Quillbore
Quill
wins.
shooter. Damn.
Alright. Kingdans and Widdowson not feeling threatened by that Pro League at all.
No, and Shay is just so far behind. Oof, being in that spot is just so rough, especially in a tournament. You're down 1-0 and you're just having a bad game, you know? It happens to everyone. Even I had bad games in tournaments. You have them all the time.
I've never had a bad game in my life, tournament or otherwise. I think you'll find you maybe take that one back.
It's just it sucks, and you don't know what to do. Okay, Kingdance doesn't full shift for his Creditor. He's wasting some gold, so that's good for Quacker and Shay.
Opium.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of think that Quacker and Shay will just try to save for like 15 or something. But I don't see it working, to be honest.
It's really hard. It's really hard their position right now.
Yeah. Right, no one's sending 13. Is everyone gonna shift for Cred? What do you think?
I think Kingdans will with his double Leviathan Phoenix.
Yeah.
Widdowson is actually not looking that bad here with the Chieftain buffing. It's buffing Gargoyle, right? Oh, okay, so Kingdan's definitely not feeling threatened, is shifting for Creditor and building an egg.
Oh my lord, King, don't do it to them.
It's a dying egg though, right? He's sacrificing it here.
Yeah, I think so. Oh my lord.
That's just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it should die to the Polywog split.
Yeah, the Polywog's going to kite the Drill Golems onto the egg. But he knew that.
Yeah, he knew that. This is planned. This is absolutely planned because he's not strong on 14. So he just wants to have more tank value. And they go 14. Okay. I think that's too early from a game theory kind of standpoint because of Creditor and everything. But it's probably just fine because, okay. Quacker and Shay are also sending. Then it's definitely fine.
Yeah. Quacker goes for the Ocean Templar, but the best thing that he can add to his Ocean Templar is King Claw, which is really not the answer that you want to be building on wave 14 against Ascend. It is good against the Needler though, so we can say that much at least.
Yeah, and Kingdance, what's the best unit he can build for wave 14? Right, it's
obviously
a second
Phoenix. Yeah, obviously a Phoenix.
My lord. And everyone's on value except for Shay, who's minus 300.
Yeah. And just look at the gap in this send size, by the way. Both teams are sending on the same wave so far, but Shay and Dark Quack are receiving nearly 200 Mythium more than their opponents. This just really goes to show how far behind they are.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Quacker is doing okay. He might leak small, he might hold. But Shay is just leaking
really
way too much.
hard.
They will probably just die to Shay's leak here.
I think Quacker can't 1v1 the Needler as well, so looks like they're Gnargled Worden, and the game is probably going to end here on wave 14.
Get naggled, motherfucker. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, a bit of a quick 2-0 victory
semi.
there.
Yeah.
Wait, do they die?
Oh, tenacity!
They do.
They do.
Appreciate.
Appreciate.
Okay, well, congratulations, Kingdans and Widdowson.
Yeah.
They are our first finalists, making it through to the final stage of this January Nova Cup. And what a series, by the way. They just kind of mopped the floor with their opponents, I'm afraid to say. Like, no disrespect to Shay and Quacker, fantastic players in their own right, but Kingdans and Widdowson just made this series look easy. Absolute Godspeeders that they are.
Yeah. Yeah, hats off to them. Coming into semis is always very scary, and then you're being casted, you're nervous, and you know, Shay is a good player, Quacker as well, and they have their pocket strats where they save, and then you make one mistake, and then you're behind, and then suddenly you lose the first game, and all these thoughts are on your mind, and they just, pretended it's the easiest thing in the world to 2-0 a semifinals in a Nova Cup, so
Yeah.
congratulations.
There's not much more to say than that. Kingdowns and Widdowson just really showing us why they are the top dogs in the Nova Cup. Very, very well played, those guys.
Yeah.
All right. Since that one was so quick, maybe the second semi-final is still going on?
Nope.
That one's over
It's
as well?
not. That one is over as well, judging from Papai's match history.
Okay. Well, in that case, I guess we should take a quick break to give the players a bit of time to rest and relax before they have to step up to the finals. So I would say maybe if we give it 10 minutes and come back at
Sure.
55 minutes, then we can get the finals underway. So guys in Twitch chat, don't go anywhere. The grand finals of this January Nova Cup will be coming right up in around about 10 minutes time.
Yeah.
See
Get
you
yourself some snacks, some drinks, and then let's get an epic grand finals on the way.
Tschüss. Wiedersehen.
Bis gleich!
All right, Twitch chat. We
All right.
are back. Unfortunately, you get to look at our faces for a few minutes before the game starts up. But man, this is going to be a pretty exciting final. We've got Abraceit, which we've just seen absolutely dominating their opponents in the semi-finals. And they will be playing against Isolde and Wezo. So it's going to be a bit of Starve versus Scale, East versus West. If we can say that Isolde is East, sure, why not? Maybe it's Eastern United States. But this should be a pretty hype matchup. What do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm hyped for it. I mean, both teams stomped their semis, so they are very good. They are in shape, and it's gonna be very exciting because two different playstyles match up. So I'm curious to see how it goes, honestly.
I mean, we've got to see if Siege Ram and Seven can really live up to their name. I certainly expect to see mega sends coming out from these guys. It's going to be a lot of Starve. And you know what? I think we might end up seeing something like the lock-in looter that we saw work so well for Shadow Wings in day one. I know that Isolde has been a fan of lock-in looter as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does that in at least one of these games in the grand finals.
I mean, you have to pick 3 different mastermind options, right? So it's not bad. If you're good with it and it fits your playstyle, why not lock in looter? It's very, very strong.
Absolutely, it's one of the best, if not the best, early game unit right now. The 12 Mythium generation just gives you so much more economy than any real 5-worker start cam. Maybe a 7-worker flower opener is on par, but other than that, the pack rats just give you such good early aggression.
Yeah, and they work so well with so many units, especially gold-wise, where you could push 1 worker and stay on 25 gold, as you said earlier. The looter is really, really strong in that case.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. We have all 4 players in the lobby. We have casters ready. So I think we're just waiting for the guys to calm their nerves, stop their hands from shaking, press the ready button, and then we will get these finals on the road.
Yep.
Okay, I hear that Jenem is not quite ready yet, so maybe I jumped the gun a little bit there. We might have another minute or 2 before the game starts. Let's carry on talking about East versus West. So Rostov out of Russia, Isolde out of, let's call it the Eastern United States, why not? Kingdans and Widdowson representing Germany. This is kind of a global finals, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And of course, Widdowson and Kingdans representing the German superiority and Legion TD2 that we've had for many years now.
Don't you mean British?
That's a good one.
All right. After the false start, all of the players are now here. Widdowson says, "Okay, I'm starting," and then promptly doesn't start the game. But now we get it going. Okay, finally, after 1 false start, 1 semi-false start, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, your January Nova Cup Grand Finals are here. Abraceit on the left versus Siege Ram on 7 on the right. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, yeah. All right. What are the mastermind options? YOLO from Widdowson. Oof. That's some big balls.
Oh, Widdowson. Amazing. Sorry, I was just updating the scoreboard, so a bit of a delayed reaction there, but I absolutely love the YOLO to start off these grand finals. Very, very solid there, Mr. Widdowson. YOLO or no balls, that's what I always say. And Widdowson showing us all that he has very big balls here.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for it, especially against Rostovchik and Isolde, just because they like to starve so much. And if they happen to save for a wave where you did not happen to roll a good unit for, It's a very, very sad situation.
Yeah.
Just like you've experienced many times on the ladder.
Never. I've never lost a game in my life. But look at King Dan's role. He has Nightmare, Berserker. I'm really surprised, actually. He had Tempest and Firelord in his role as well. And also the Seedling, which pairs very well. But, I mean, you can't really complain about Nightmare, Butcher, Oathbreaker in any role. An Egg, yeah.
With Hero in the game, yeah.
The one thing he's lacking is some magic damage, and that's kind of why I thought that he would pick the Tempest and the Firelord instead of the APS and the Egg, but I can see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, and it begins! It begins!
Yeah, and this 5 worker starts with a Pro League.
With a Pro League. Pretty juicy.
And Wither can't push. Like, Wither is very weak on wave 2 to a DT.
Yeah.
Usually you want to go 5 workers with that opener, because you're strong on 2, 3, 4. Well, you're not strong on 2, but you have enough value. But against the DT, you can't. So now he has to stay 4 workers.
He has to stay 4 workers, and I wonder if King Dans will do the same.
No.
Probably won't, right?
King is pushing.
He is pushing. Okay, so
It's
5 workers on the King.
It's the correct play. He has Oathbreaker, but Isolde is not sending, so they are going for a wave 3 play, I assume.
Yeah, and the Buckler won't do very much for Widdowson on wave number 3. Worth pointing out, by the way, Widdowson has already had to use his reroll, so he's lost out 1 income from that YOLO all the way back down to 6, and he still didn't find a tier 1, which is really what you're looking for when you go for a wave 1 YOLO reroll.
Oh yeah, that's why you reroll on wave 1, because you can't reroll afterwards anymore. Yeah. I mean, you can't reroll a tier 1 afterwards anymore. Oof. Okay. I mean, what's even his play? Is he just gonna add like an infiltrator and boost?
I think he has to, right? Like, this Fiend is just going to delete the Buckler. The Buckler just simply does not exist. There'll be a Snail coming out from Isolde as well, which is going to tie up the Infiltrator for a little while. And I think a lot of this is going to come down to whether the Fiend wraps onto the Deep Coiler or not after killing the Buckler. Because if that Fiend goes onto the Serpent, sorry, not the Coiler, he's just going to be really in trouble there for Widdowson, I think.
Oh, he's going for the Sea Dragon, but he's not boosting. I'm not sure if that's gonna go well for him, because the Fiend and half the wave, they will probably go for this, no?
What an absolutely perfect 3-way split there for Widdowson.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is getting his Serpent killed. Yeah. And King Dans is leaking to the 60 cent. So a little bit of RNG involved in that, but he's only leaking very small.
Yeah, and Wither just holds because he stayed 4 workers. Yeah. That's very good.
So even though his unit's not the best here, the power of value turns out it was enough. Widdowson holds against the 80 cent there.
Yeah. And now King Dans, 7 workers, everyone else is on 6 workers.
Yeah,
He's gonna scale.
It begins.
Yeah, Nightmare Oathbreaker is like one of the best combos you can roll for early game scaling. And if the enemy tries to play like aggressively and for leaks, it doesn't really, I don't know, starve you that much, because you still get 5 workers for wave 3, you get a big send there, you push 7, you're fine on wave 5.
Yeah, but worth pointing out that everybody's on 7 workers, so King got there slightly sooner, but as soon as income kicked in, everybody else caught up.
Yeah, let's see if Isolde is holding on wave 4. Because he might get his Atom killed. I'm not sure. Nah, it survives. Okay, then he's probably fine-ish.
I mean, even if he leaks here, it will be very, very small. There's only 1 chicken attacking the Atom. It now defends itself. But he will leak. Does he get 1 more? He does not.
It's King damage, though.
Oh, Rostov leaking as well. Oh, no. Yeah, he went for a second Shroom here. He didn't get a consort on time.
Yeah. And that was just income sense. Like...
Yeah, and this is just massive amounts of King damage. Like, we see the King being pretty vulnerable in the early game in the current patch, and that's nearly 30% of their health gone just to an income send.
Yeah.
The game seemed to be going pretty evenly until then, but now King Dans and Widdowson, they definitely have an edge.
Yeah. Yeah, they both were weak on 4, and they both pushed the one greedy worker, which I didn't expect, which is why I said they stay on 6 workers. And they got punished. And this is the problem when you go for the Starve, and you both play like very much on the edge, and you leak once, you're just you're in a tough spot already.
Yeah. The one thing I will say in their favour is that Rostov, Schick and Isolde are saving. They have a lot of Mythium, a lot more than their opponents, certainly. Nearly 100 more than both of their counterparts. And now that Kingdan's resent here on wave 5, sure, Isolde's going to leak here, but it's very... Oh no! I was just saying how good the leak is for them, and then Rostov leaks as well!
Yeah, the 8th worker was not a good decision. I think we're seeing some nerves kick in, because he usually doesn't make these mistakes on the ladder.
No.
That's unfortunate.
And now they're at 50% King HP, and certainly starting to feel vulnerable. There is a resend coming from both Kingdans and Widdowson.
They don't send. Ooh,
no, they're going for the Siege Ram on 7. Come on, dude, it's in the name.
Yeah, but how are they ever holding here? Like, I mean, right? He's getting a send. He's also getting a send. I mean, Isolde might hold, because atoms are strong on 6. But, like, Rostovchik is never holding here, right?
I mean, he just can't. He's really low value. He gets a 120 send.
That definitely doesn't die.
Yeah. The Shrooms just deal no damage. This is going to be a pretty bad leak for Rostov. In Isolde, how are you doing? You only got a DT and a King up, so surely he holds and covers his teammate here, surely. Yeah. 77% leak there on Rostov.
This hurts a lot, especially since Widdowson and Kingdans are strong on 7. So, I mean, they almost had to go 8. Okay, it's a 4 Eyes. A 4 Eyes is gonna leak. It's gonna leak him, but is it really worth it?
He's gonna kill most of the wave, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and these guys are on 37% King HP on wave 6.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll hold now, but...
Yeah, I mean, Widdowson's going to be practically on value with a Deep Coiler. He's going to harden his Golem, certainly. Kingdans has 248 gold to play with. What's he going to do? Probably just spam some Arcane tanks, I would imagine. Yeah.
I mean, and how sure are they the send comes here and not on wave 8?
Widdowson, are you shifting 100 gold?
He's
not. Okay, but he's not hardening
either. He didn't harden, yeah. Oh, the Lizard is pulling the Coiler into the split, maybe? Or it's getting the Coiler killed after the split dies.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a really smart
so that Coiler's going to die very quickly. Let's have a look at Dan's lane. The 4 Eyes obviously just insane damage against the Nightmares, but yeah, as expected, they just clear up the entire wave. So sure, he's going to leak a 4 Eyes, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Widdowson, he leaks the Ogre plus 3 creeps. This is still a lot of damage, right? But it's not gonna it's not gonna even things up, I don't think.
No. And even if it does even it up on King HP, like, look at the workers. They still have more workers, and they have 200 or 300 more value on Widdowson and Kingdans.
And they still have more King HP as well by 15%, so this is starting to look pretty rough now for Rostov and Isolde.
Yeah. But the one thing they have going for them is that now Kingdans and Widdowson, they also can't make any mistakes. Like, sure, they are far ahead and everything, but if they make one mistake where they both leak quite a decent amount, they can die.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like in the Shay game where they were at 100% King HP and nothing could happen. If they decide to randomly both leak on wave 10, say 30% and maybe like one Ogre or a 4 Eyes, this can kill them.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, the same can be said for Isolde and Rostovchik. But they are so far behind, they can just, you know, they already know they lost the game. So they will just be like,
feel that way. Look at the worker counts, right? Kingdans and Widdowson have basically 50% more workers than their opponents. This is starting to look really rough.
Oh, yeah. But it's their game to lose. So now they have some pressure. But if there's 2 players in the world that I would trust to not feel pressured by being too far ahead and feeling like, oh no, if I lose this, I'm gonna look really bad, it's those 2.
Yeah. For one thing, they're pretty used to being really far ahead, so they've got the experience, you know.
Yeah. Whereas, but then you could also say Isolde and Rostovchik might be, experienced in playing from behind. So who knows? But what's their play? Like 8 and 9 workers and being overvalue? They have to be planning like a long save. They have to be planning to go like 13 or 14 right now, right?
I mean, they're doing the good old overbuild and starve, but when you're so far behind in worker count, I don't know. You just don't present that much of a threat. Like, look at the Mythium counts already. Kingdans has 100 Mythium more than Rostov.
Yeah, it's not looking too bright. There's the wave Tencent. I expect Rostov and Isolde to save.
Yeah, which they do. Okay, so part 1 of the comeback is Rostov and Isolde both need to hold here. And for Isolde, I don't know how likely that is. His build is not great here. He does have 2 disciples. Yeah. He's got Berserker as well if he wants to go for that. And he does, okay. Now, Rostov should hold here. He has 3 Daphne. He has an Avenger there to tank. He has Boz, which of course is the best unit in the game. And Descend is just not that big as well.
Yeah.
He's even ignoring 2 of the snails and the pack leader, so that boss is going to die very quickly.
Over-sniped on this lane.
Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, so maybe part 1 of the comeback plan is underway. Isolde will still leak. Rostov will not, so that's going to be a hold from him. He should be able to cover Jenem's leak as well.
Yeah.
And now they can push the worker button.
Yeah, they will push it, but when do you ever send it to Kingdans and Witherson? Is it 13? No. Not really. Is it 12? No. Is it 11? No, you don't have enough Mythium. Is it 14? Not really. Is it 15? Maybe, but 15 is too far, no?
Yeah, there's no way they can go straight 15. And with the villain there for Kingdans as well, he's looking really solid on 13, even though it's pierce damage. Villain just opens up those golems, melts them like butter.
Yeah, and now they took Dark Ritual, at least Rostovchik did, and he pushed really hard. So they are looking for an aggressive play.
I wonder if this is like a suicide for 12 play.
I think it's a 12 play for both of them. Yeah, I kind of expect 12 cents to come now. I expect Rostovchik to almost leak here, to no send.
Yeah.
And maybe he's gonna continue pushing, but they both don't look amazing on 12, so...
Yeah, meanwhile Kingdans and Witherson do look pretty good there. Like, Witherson, not the best damage units, apart from 1 Coiler, but he's gonna have 2 hardened Mudmen.
Oh, they continue pushing. Rostovchik is suiciding.
He's full
and
suicide.
Isolde pushed 1 more, but Witherson already question marked this lane.
They both leak!
Yeah. And now it's obvious what's happening. Kingdan's already sending the pack leader. I
think they probably just win the race, right? Because they're going to be so much further ahead in value.
Yeah, exactly. They have so much. I mean, don't even send much less.
Yeah.
I think this is a good play from Rostovchik and Isolde, but I don't think the leak is good for them. One of them can leak maybe, but both of them is too much.
Yeah, and Witherson didn't. Well, his golems were de-hardened on wave 11, so he can just harden them here and have delay for days. Kingdans, of course, I mean, he has Nightmare, APS, Villain, Doppelganger with Lifesteal, and he's got the Oathbreakers for tanks as well, so, he's in a pretty good position. And they just have so much more value than their opponents.
He might just hold.
Yeah,
I mean the Sens are a lot bigger.
The Sens are twice the size, but they literally have 600 more value than Rostovchik does. And Isolde is not exactly holding this Send himself.
No, he does have 2 Hardened Mudmen, but his build isn't amazing on 12.
Yeah.
And
Rostov
Rostovchik
leaks
is already
already.
leaking. Yeah.
And Genom is
And King
leaking
is
as
just
well. King Dance is
Did you
holding
send?
easily.
Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Game 1. That was a fast one.
Zack, zack, clap, clap, abrasiert.
Abrasiert. Wow.
Oof, that was rough.
Yeah. That was a pretty one-sided game, I think. Maybe some tournament nerves, like you were saying, for Rostov and Isolde. Because they don't normally... They're not normally this easy to handle, right? Like, we just saw them lose so much King HP to a bit of an unforced error on wave 4.
Yeah.
I've never normally seen Rostov leak in the early game. He tends to stay on value and just easily hold. So then even if Isolde leaks 50% there, it's fine, because if he had the consort, he'd easily cover his teammate. They take 0 damage. And then the re-leak to no send on 5. So they're just down to 50% HP already.
Yeah.
And game is already hard.
Yeah. And I think it's also like King Dance had a very, very good role to deal with early pressure.
Yeah.
Like if I go for a pressure play and I see the enemy has Nightmare and then I see Nightmare Oathbreaker on 3, it's very unfortunate. Unless you maybe get Dino in income for 3, but you usually don't. And Witherson stayed very disciplined. Like, he knows, okay, there's a big send coming. I'm just staying 4 workers and I'm holding it. So that's also a mistake I like to make on ladder, because, you know, it's ladder. So I just push 5 workers anyways, and then the send comes and I leak 90%, and then, you know, it's all worth
And then
it.
game is hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at this, like 280 send on wave 7 and King Dan's leaks and injured 4 eyes and nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, he's the king for a reason.
Yeah.
But obviously,
absolutely.
Nightmare, Butcher, Oathbreaker just has very little weak waves as well.
Yeah. And yeah, like I like the suicide play there from Rostov and Isolde. It probably was their only chance to win this game.
Yeah.
But King Dans and Witherson weren't to be caught out. They knew exactly what was going on. They sent for a leak there on 12. And that's just all she wrote, you know? 1-0.
Yeah.
Abrasiert in the lead.
Yep. But I mean, I wouldn't count Rostovchik and Isolde out. This was just a bit of an unfortunate game 1, but now they are probably fine. The nerves have settled, and now maybe King Dance and Witherson don't have roles that deal with pressure so well. Especially Witherson likes his angler builds, and if you go for a lot of pressure against those, that can work very, very well.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Lobby is open. Clown has entered the building.
Yeah, everyone was waiting for you anyway.
That's standard. I'm used to it.
I told them they needed the C-Trim on 7.
Almost, yeah.
Very good sports, being so nice.
Yeah.
Chatting and stuff.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Witherson. He's just keeping us hanging as always.
Yeah, he's just sitting there, furiously masturbating to his own gameplay. Okay, starting. Oh.
All right. So Witherson cannot pick YOLO. King Dans cannot pick. What was King Dan's mastermind option last game?
Cartel.
Cartel,
Sure
okay.
Cartel.
So Conquest format is really good, especially in the best of 5, I think, because you get to see a lot of versatility out of these players. More so that, you know, the best of 3 is still good, but in the best of 5, you really do see them having to mix up their mastermind options. And I think that just makes it a little bit spicy, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And you can't just be a quote-unquote one-trick pony. You have to be able to use different mastermind options. Like, okay, for a normal ladder player, and especially if you're not at the very top of the ladder, it doesn't make a huge difference what you pick. But here, it makes the world's difference whether you pick Cartel or Greed, or Cash Out or Greed, or Castle, or Redraw, or YOLO. It's such a big difference.
Speaking of which, Mr. Julian, would you like to introduce the mastermind options?
Yeah, okay. We have Witherson going for the Quacker special, the redraw. King Dance going for Greed as the tryhard that he is. Rostovchik trying the Cartel again. It didn't work so well for him last game, but let's see if he can make it work this time. And Isolde going for Greed once again.
Okay. I think Wooderson actually really likes redraw at the moment. I was watching his stream the other day, and he was just like over the moon with how crazy his role was. You know, when you get 5 chances to pick the units you want,
Ugh.
that's just, it is really strong, right? And that's why it's a 3-income mastermind.
Yeah, it is really strong. And he's going for the same build he did earlier with False Maiden Double Angler. I think it's very strong, but it is naturally very weak on wave 5. And I have full faith in Rostovchik and Isolde to leak him there.
Yeah.
And King Dance is also picking the Angler. I don't like that as much.
Will he open with it? Or you will. He's going for...
Widder changed his mind because he rerolled Polter Mask.
What a skilled player. He's using the redraw. He gets the Priestess. He gets the Mask. This is why he's top dog. With skills like those, man, he's going to have a game.
Yeah, and he's sending into an egg. Rostovchik going for the egg opener with Bone Warrior. So just a fun fact, I think, at least it used to be that way, and I'm pretty sure it's still this way. On wave 2, every tier 1 you can roll, you can hold the egg with, except for Bone Warrior.
Yeah, because it just has no damage, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also because you have very ugly gold usually.
Yeah.
Maybe with Cartel you can get out 3 Bone Warriors and hold, but usually Bone Warrior is very risky on wave 2.
But King Dans is going to be very happy here as well when he sees that he's receiving from a 2-worker egg opener. He knows that he's not under any pressure, though he probably still has to go for the same 4-worker Selgral into presumably Avenger on 4.
Yeah, he's not that happy because now he can't like push over the moon like he could if he had Gate Guard, Bone Crusher, or whatever early game thing. His build is really strong if he has a lot of pressure against him, which he probably expected. So he picked this role.
Mm-hmm. And the Snail Send actually pretty good for Rostov because now he can just add 1 steed and be just fine, or a Fire Archer or whatever he wants to do. And he looks like he's going for that Fire Archer, so he could still get the 3rd worker.
Yeah, and he should just hold easily against the snail. I mean, hold his egg. He's obviously holding the wave. We have the greed check on Witherson with the 40, and the mask is already being pinged out by Isolde, who's probably molding about it.
I would be absolutely molding myself if I see my opponent has Priestess Mask in the Grand Finals of the Nova Cup.
Yeah, 7 workers for Witherson.
Yeah. King Dan's presumably pushing as hard as his little legs can carry him. He's only on 6 though. What a noob.
Yeah. And that's the annoying part. If you start Graal and Angler, you don't want to upgrade the Angler for wave 4 because then you're kind of horribly overbuilt. But if you don't, you're losing 12 stacks on the Bounty Hunter and eventual Kingpin. Yeah. So that's a bit sad. But it's usually
I think he prefers the workers though, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like you should please don't be on 430 value or something for no reason on wave 4.
When you're receiving from a really slow egg opener as well.
Yes.
But now Rostov can push really hard, and with the Hydra as well being such a unit on 6, he should be able to go for something like a big shift into Trinity Archer on 7, right? Which is normally where Hydra's very weak.
Yeah, it's good. The only problem with that play is that he's sort of vulnerable on 6, but he got Income King on wave 4 again, so Wither doesn't really get too big of a send for wave 6. And I think he's just gonna income anyway.
His role is just so good as well. Just so good.
He's getting income here, so he's just gonna push even harder. And King Dance is saving because King Dance usually is the income heavier player out of the 2, but he also knows that Witterson's role is so good that he just needs to enable.
Jenon, little bro, you okay? He got his gun here killed on wave 5. Luckily there was no send from King Dance.
Lane 4.
Lane 4.
By the way, in case someone is wondering, like Genum is the other account of Isolde, and if we say Wezo, we mean Rostovchik, which is his old name. Just because we're around so long, because we're grandpas already, we remember the old names.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, Widdowson here, 8 workers, gets the Hellraiser out, so he's safe on 7 as well. King Dan's saving up on that Mythium. Widdowson as well. And this time, Rostov will not get a 4 eyes out for wave 7 against King.
Yeah, and he pushed 8 workers, so he doesn't get the Trinity Archer out for next wave, so he can actually leak. It's just a question whether Widdowson wants to, like, I mean, obviously this looks like a shift, right?
Yeah.
So do you trust your opponent that he actually shifted and is safe on next wave? Or do you think he's just quote-unquote debating you, and do you still full send? And he's still full sending.
He's going for the full send, okay. Oof. Yeah, I thought Widdowson might just income King here after seeing the Elite Archer on Rostov's lane, but with only 200 gold to spend, 2 Tempest is just not going to cut it against the safety mole.
Yeah.
He does have the power of value.
He does have the power of value, but he has no arcane defense units on the field except for the Elite Archer, which is a very high DPS, very low tank value kind of unit.
And Isolde, he has a gun, which obviously is pretty solid damage on this wave. He also, interestingly, has a Pegasus, which is self-buffing, so decent arcane tank, I guess, but just 0 damage on wave 7.
Oh yeah, it's 0 damage on wave 7, but I think it's fine-ish.
Isolde, does power of value outweigh terrible build on the wave? You think?
Yeah,
Yes, looks like.
Leaks small. King Dance holds, but it was only an income send. Rostovchik is holding almost.
He can't kill them all, right? It's just invincible.
Yeah, but I think now Widdowson wishes he went income King, because this is not going to be enough King damage to justify the income loss.
Well, I don't know what you mean. It's 2 moles on 7. This is 30% King HP.
Yeah, nearly.
Yeah, 9% is basically 30%. You're a mathematician, right? That's correct?
It's a finite number, and they're basically all the same.
Yeah, true.
So, and now we have income sends from everyone. Rostovchik is slightly ahead of everyone, but he does play Cartel. King Dance has his Kingpin Power Spike coming up for wave 9, but he did push quite a lot. This reset is probably catching him off guard. I think he's going for a bit of a leak.
He should go for a bit of a leak here against the full resend. The Dino Lizard is just deleting the veteran split there, and crucially the Avenger and the Bounty Hunter are both just very weak units on wave 8.
Yep. He's going for a solid leak. This is a really good resend. The only problem is this.
He almost doesn't kill the Dino. Oh, the last attack from the APS. Wow. That would have been absolutely debilitating if that Dino had leaked through there.
That would have been a penny leak.
Yeah.
But still, I think Widdowson is in such a good position right now. He's being fed, quote-unquote, and he has such a good role, man. Oh.
I mean, he's matching Rostov on income when Rostov is about to lose 36 in a couple of waves' time.
Yeah. He is 2 workers behind, though, so he will fall behind a bit in income, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, Rostovchik is on fire. He's playing very well this game.
Rostov is having a really nice game, actually. This is very different to game number 1. We see him topping the power score, and we see, interestingly, King Dan's right down at the bottom. That's unusual, but again, of course, it is because he hasn't yet realised that Kingpin power spike, so that will change, especially after wave 10. So the downside to Cartel will kick in. King Dan's is going to get his Kingpin online and expect to see those power score numbers swap over in the next few waves.
Yeah. And what we also should mention is that on wave 13, both Rostovchik and Isolde are kind of weak. Because, he's going for the Flying Trinity Archer, which is very, very strong. But it's not quite as strong on wave 13. And Widdowson and King Dance, they have the freedom to save till whenever they want.
Yeah. Kingdance goes for a couple of snails here so that he can afford his kingpin. So he's very fine, but the send is not coming here.
When do they want to send, though?
I don't know. I kind of expected them to send 10, honestly. Widdowson is very, very weak here. Like, insanely weak here. Kingdance, sure, he's got the Avenger, but without the Sovereign, I think he could absolutely leak to Ascend on wave 10 as well.
Yeah.
So Widdowson has used another one of his rerolls. He now has a Doomsday on the field, and I wonder if that triggers Rostov and Isolde to call a wave 12 send.
I think they will go 12 with Overwork.
Income coming out from both Widdowson and Kingdance, and just look at this. Even with the Millennium on the field, Widdowson nearly leaked no send.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is now kind of falling into the trap of Rostov and Isolde. They go for the income. Rostov and Isolde do save. They haven't picked Overwork though. They go Lone.
Oh, Lone. Is it Lone and Giga Push?
At the moment, it's Lone and Giga Build.
Oh my god, look at this income, man.
Yeah. Wow. 35 income on wave 11 and 55 for little bro Isolde. This is... Oof.
I mean, sure they can go for a big send, but it absolutely has to deal devastating damage.
Yeah, if this send doesn't pretty much win them the game, like 35 income on wave 11, I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I have, but very, very, very rarely.
Yeah.
Are they going 12? Are they senders?
I think if they were going 12, they would have chosen Overwork instead of Lone, right?
Yeah, but I mean, how long can you really save with 35 income?
They go 12.
Here. They go here.
But Kingdance doesn't just have Kingpin with APS. He also
has
the Shadow Dancer with protection. Like, he's just so strong on this wave, so very, very strong. And Widdowson, like, he has the Protector Azeria. Like, sure, his other units are not great. The Millennium in particular is very weak on 12. The Mask is not tantrumed, but the White Mane is just tank value for days. The Protector Azeria is insane tank value.
Yeah, and Widow isn't even that much under. It's minus 200. Kingdance is even shifting 80 gold here because he's that confident.
Wow.
Oh.
The Four Eyes is wasting time on the Veteran for now, but now it's onto the meaty unit.
Is this area dying, or is it gonna smurf?
No, it's gonna smurf. Oh, it gets the heal.
Smurf. Oh, it's gonna smurf.
The heal.
Oh no, it's just gonna smurf.
He's just gonna hold.
It's just gonna smurf. Hold? He's just gonna hold.
Kingdance is leaking
area.
Very small. Oof.
Oh my god, the smurfing is area, man. This is so disgusting.
I mean, it's just a very balanced unit. What can I say?
Pota Mask with Steed and Protector.
Oh PTSD. No. Rostov, Isolde, the 35 income on 11 play. Yikes.
It was looking so good in the early game as well, and then this.
They don't even get a sniff on the king.
I mean, sure, they have like more workers now. You know, if they've one thing going for them, which is the workers, but the sand had to deal more damage.
I mean, yeah, sure, more workers, but like, I don't know. They're pretty comfortably behind in income by about 40 income for the team. They don't have Legion spells anymore. Remember, Kingdance and Widdowson both have Protector, which will buff their lane for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing the Send also did is protect them on wave 13. Because Kingdance and Widdowson were forced to income Send. But still, this is just way too much of a price to pay for, you know, not receiving on 13.
I kind of wonder why they didn't just go 13 themselves after getting that Send on 11.
Yeah, they
Kingdance is way weaker on 13 than he was on 12.
Yeah, but... Ooh, okay. Widdowson and Kingdance going for a Send on 14 which is the strongest wave of Isolde and Rostovchik,
It is.
which is quite surprising. They
I-
income send, okay, so they
I
read that they're
guess?
getting the send. Okay.
I guess they just expect Rostov and Isolde to be saving on them and thinking like they're going to be so low value after that big long starve that
guess, yeah.
they can undercut and get some damage in. But
Probably.
But Rostov and Isolde actually reading this go for an income send, and that kind of evens up the income a little bit because they were really far behind. So
Yeah,
now they
no,
just need to
this
hold the
is-
send.
If they hold the send, the game is back to square one, with King Dance being a bit behind, because he's the lowest on workers.
They have full king upgrades as well. Well, full attack anyway.
Full attack, yeah.
Oh,
And I
this
expect
Philo's playing
Rostovchik to hold,
very
right?
quickly. Rostov should hold. I don't think Jenon will.
I mean, he's minus 400, but he has a flying Trinity Archer.
It is getting run over though, actually.
Ooh,
This is going to be a leak.
this is going to be a leak. Oh,
Isolde leaking 86%, Rostov leaking 89%.
Jesus.
And they did king upgrades, but it was only attack. So they're going to take a lot of damage here with no spell upgrades.
That's a very good read from King Dance and Witherson. Reading the worker situation and sending, not being afraid of sending on their strongest wave. That was a really good call.
Yeah. I mean, they just know that they have to be suffering right after that long
Yeah, of
save that
course.
didn't get any king damage done.
Yeah. I mean, they also knew that Rostovchik was on like 30 income, right?
Yeah.
So, good call. Good call. And now the game is essentially over because once again, King Dance and Witherson, over 90% king, they can't die to one leak.
Yeah.
Whereas Rostovchik and Isolde, 26% king, they will die to the next leak.
Yeah. Even a very, very small leak is going to be game over for these guys. I just think their path to victory now is extremely narrow, with big ledges on either side and a long drop down.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot they can do. I mean, Rostovchik is 2.7k value, so he's leaking whenever the send comes.
Yeah.
And Isolde is below 3k as well. And I think the send is just gonna come on wave 16 and then it's gonna be over, right? Right?
Wave 16. Yeah, but they can also just go 17 if they want. I don't think King Dance and Witherson are feeling under much pressure. But no, they do go for the 16 send, as you say. Now remember, Rostov and Isolde cannot leak here. They go for the income send. I would imagine they go for some regen as well. But yeah, they need to hold. Like, with 26% king, you just can't afford to leak anymore.
Yeah. And I don't think Rostovchik can hold. I mean, he has Ocean Templar Gates, which in itself is very strong, and
Yeah, but
Flying
he's-
Elite Archer.
But he's
But
800
mixing the
undervalue.
Yeah, and also mixing the two builds, like he doesn't have tanks.
hmm
So I don't see him holding here.
Now, Lil Bro Jenon does have the Phoenix with a double Leviathan buff, which is kind of solid here, but that Phoenix really needs to smurf here.
Yeah.
So, how's it doing? It is off-tanking very nicely. The Steed pumping it full of mana as well.
It does tank nicely, but now the Steeds are dead.
Yeah, and now the Phoenix is going down as well. Phoenix is down, I repeat, Phoenix is down. And there comes the forfeit from Rostov, there comes the GG from Isolde. And Team Abra see it, 2-0 in these Nova Cup
GG.
finals.
GG, well rolled, Witherson. Good
Yeah,
job.
I mean he picked
still-
redraw, right?
Yeah, true. But still, you know, if I got Pota, Mask, Steed, with every time I picked redraw, I would only play redraw.
Yeah, because it's the best role in the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's insane. It's just insane.
Yeah.
King Dance even made mistakes in the early game, fell behind, but it just didn't really matter. Jesus. And that hold on 12 is it's disgusting.
Yeah, the hold on 12 was just insane. I really am surprised that Rostov and Isolde, one, didn't pick overwork when they were going for this play, and two, didn't just decide to go for a 13 send after getting this income from King Dance and Witherson on wave 11.
Yeah, and it's also unlike them because they only saved from wave 8 into 12. where usually they save for at least 5 waves.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's where they went wrong.
Yeah, tried and true method, you know, like they, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we see a wave 16 victory there for Widdowson and Kingdowns. Team Abrasiet are now 2-0 in the lead. Rostov and Isolde, please, some signs of life. We can't have a 3-0 clean sweep in the grand finals, can we?
I mean, we had one last time, right?
What with the Green Spirit and Kid K? Was that a 3-0?
That was a 3-0, yeah, against
Wow.
Bonnie and Adamus.
Oh, okay, it was an easy opponent.
Yeah. Of course it was easy, but you know.
Well, Bonnie at least, obviously not Adamus.
Yeah.
All right, so we are waiting in lobby number 3. Everything to play for now for Kingdowns and Widdowson. Are they going to be the very first Nova Cup champions of 2023, or can Isolde and Little Bro Jenham have a miracle comeback here and reverse sweep the king himself? What do you think?
I don't believe in it, but maybe. Okay, so first game they looked pretty, like it looked very one-sided, but the second game, the early game, went very well for Rostovchik and Isolde, so they've like very much improved, right? So maybe now they can just repeat the early game and then learn from their mistakes mid-game and also play that one much better, and then they will win for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that when you're playing against Widdowson and Kingdowns, they're just not going to make many mistakes, right? So
yeah,
you cannot, like you just said, right? You made it sound kind of simple. All they have to do is play really well in the early game, really well in the mid game, and then really well in the end game as well. So if they play perfectly and don't make any mistakes and have good rolls, then Rostov and Isolde can reverse sweep. 3 times in a row they need to do that, remember? Like, yeah, it's a tough position to be in. But come on, guys, you've got to at least win a couple of games here. All the fans in Twitch chat are wanting a nice best of 5 series. So come on, let's cheer for Rostov and Isolde as we go into game number 3. Let's go. Citram on 7.
Let's go. Citram on 7. Let's go, guys. Come on. Fiesta Pixie.
All right. Lock-in from
Lock
Isolde
in
is
Looter.
Lock-in Looter! And
There
Cartel
we go.
from Rostov and Kingdowns with Chaos for game number 3.
Chaos.
Chaos is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Isolde has such a good opener with his looters, with
Yeah.
the Gate Guard and double pack rat. It's so good, man.
You can also go for like the Windhawk double pack rat and just go for a really long wave so that you always get 60 Mythium on 2 if that's what you want to go for. Like, we can see that Widdowson has Nightmare and Oathbreaker, so that play won't work, or at least it certainly won't work on wave 2. But obviously Isolde doesn't know that.
Yeah, and he will get 80 pre-income for wave 3 if he plays for the Looter Gate Guard or Looter Windhawk, which can very much punish Nightmare Oathbreaker on wave 3.
Yeah.
If he goes 5 workers, which Widdowson will, knowing Widdowson. Ooh, and Kingdowns is greeting on wave 1. Let's see if Rostovchik realizes that there might be a greed and snares. But no, that would be a bad play, considering his mate is going Gate Guard double looter.
Yeah. But Isolde is saving here on 1. He will, I think, be a little bit disappointed. Oh, the double snail coming out from King and Widow. Okay, I think Isolde is absolutely fine with this. Like, he's going to leak 3 creeps. The wave's going to be very long. He saved on 1. He's got the double pack rats. Oh, but now he sees the Nightmare. He just immediately sends that snail.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. He knows.
He knows. If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. And if you don't ask.
He can still 60 the Nightmare player though, right? Like, this is basically the same play that I was talking about, that if you did the Windhawk into the 1 creep leak on wave 1, you can always send 60.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't open Windhawk, but Kingdowns is giving him the leak instead. So
this is what happened game 1 with Kingdowns sending into the Grawl.
Yep. But
In
Widdowson...
the semis, yeah.
Oh no, Widdowson does push the 5th worker. So if Isolde wants to send the lizard here, which he can, this should be a leak from the Nightmare player. Not a big one though.
Yeah, if Widdowson gets 60 cent here, I think he's very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like a save from Isolde. Kind of wondering why he sent the snail in that case. Because he's just chilling on 31 gold as well, so he didn't need the 6 gold here.
I think he wants to
he king
debate
ups.
Widdowson.
King
He's
up.
kept 20 Mythium behind.
Yeah.
He wants to debate Widdowson into pushing 6 workers, which is almost always a mistake with Nightmare. And then he wants to leak him on wave 3. But can we
Yeah.
take a look at this?
King dams. So now that lizard would have been a pretty good play, right? Because they'd have taken some decent king damage.
Hello? Is this the
King.
police? Yes, yes. I want to report an illegal build. Can you please take a look at this Valshroom Oath infiltrator positioning on wave 2? Because that is in fact highly illegal.
But King gets the Fiend in income against Isolde,
Oof.
who does skillfully have the casket here, so he should do... Well, I was going to say he should do okay. He's 230 value. I think he's going to go for a bit of a leak.
Oh no. That's a big risk he's taking.
Yeah.
If
Rostov will
if
easily
this
hold,
leaks-
though.
Yeah. Rostov is fine, but is this 100%er because we're focusing the okay, we're
Oh, the
not
Gate Guard is
focusing
attacking the creeps. That's good, so he won't 100% it.
That's
He's
good.
even got some nice split tank, actually. Summon,
he get another summon?
Summon? No!
Oh, no,
that summon
summon.
would have just cleared up all of these froggos!
Oh no!
Oh, lil bro Jenon, that is so unfortunate. It was over 13 mana on the Gate Guard. It was so close to the doggo.
Oh, that hurts.
The doggo would have snacked on so many of those frogs.
And I think we might be seeing a repeat of game 1 here. There's the resend. Okay, of course, Rostovchik is holding, but I'm not sure if Jenom is doing so well with his double Gate Guard. Maybe he's fine with the casket. I don't know. What do you think? Is this fine?
I mean, he's low value. Like, if it was the second stack on the casket, then yes, definitely.
Yeah, then he's fine. But like this?
Like this, I don't know. But they have some Mythium. They both have 100 Mythium. There's double pack rats here from Jenon. I don't think they'll go 5.
No, they'll go for the Seatram on 7. Of
T-Jam
course.
on 7. The clue was there all along. He does hold. He holds it, and
does.
actually quite easily.
Okay. Nice.
But this was only a lizard send.
No!
They go on 5? Nani?
No, that's not a Seatram.
Yeah, it's not a siege ram, and this isn't wave 7. And Widdowson adding a Mudman here to go with his Nightmare build. He already has the Oathbreaker, he already has the Sea Dragon. He's just so strong on wave 5. And Kingdan's, you know, he has 3 infiltrators on the board.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna leak. I mean, if he leaks, then it's at least not a big leak. Especially because the flower isn't countered by the fiends.
No. The flower is not counted by the fiends.
Contrary to common belief. Yeah. And Widdowson's Oathbreaker is just absolutely smurfing.
Yeah, it's
Does
still
it
alive.
die?
It
does
dies
die.
now, but like the damage is done, right? The Nightmare's even going to kill all of the little scorpions off. Does it get the DT as well? It does. Does he just
Does it?
hold?
Does he kill the imp? Does he kill it?
I think he does. He does. He's leaking
Oh.
1 scorpion against a 140 send
No,
on 5.
he's just holding.
He's just full
just
holding. Wow.
Oh man. And Rostovchik just pushing to 10 workers because he knows
Yeah.
he has to do something after this failed. But
Yeah.
Widdowson is on 9 workers as well. And Isolde is still on 4 workers. Of course, hunting,
has
but
double
you know,
pack rats,
long
yeah.
waves. Oh.
The total Mythium Isolde is actually ahead of both Kingdans and Widdowson, just because 4 workers and 2 pack rats is a lot of Mythium. That might change now that Widdowson's on 9.
Yeah.
He's going to start to catch up again, but yeah, Isolde is not as far behind as his 4 workers might make you think.
That is true, but still, you know, now the double, like he has essentially used the biggest power spike off of the double pack rat,
Yeah.
and he's behind.
Yeah.
Like, normally he want to be a lot ahead in power score right now, because the biggest power spike of Reds is just early game.
Yeah. Now this Fiend resend here does help him out a bit. It gives him very easy push. His build can already hold wave 7. So he can just shift here, get his bunk on 8, where he's otherwise looking pretty vulnerable. And the double hunt as well. He doesn't shift, he just pushes it into workers. So he's actually doubled his worker count between wave 6 and wave 7.
Yeah, and now with the pack rats, so just for Twitch chat, roughly a pack rat is like 1.5 workers, a bit closer to 2 in the early game and falling off towards 1 later on. Right now you could just say 2 rats hunted equals 3 workers.
Yeah.
So essentially he has 11 workers. Which is good, I mean.
And
that
Rostov
puts him
there
as-
on 10 as well. So he's having another good game. Like, he had a good game in game 2 as well.
Yeah.
Obviously playing Cartel again, so there will be that downside when we move into the mid game.
Yeah. But when do they send their enormous amounts of Mythium? Is it wave 8? Kingdance and Witherson are sending wave 8, but just
It
income.
is wave 8 and also income. Okay.
Everyone wave 8. That's
Interesting.
surprising, I think. Yeah.
So I think Rostov and Isolde are saying, we just want to outscale you this time around.
Yeah. Or I think they are saying, okay, we are under too much pressure to really go for a leak or a longer save, so we have to send. But you're not so weak here that we can do a lot of damage, so
Yeah.
let's just go income.
King Dan's is
you know,
spending
it does
10
work.
gold on boost here. He might be a bit sad about when he sees it's only income, but it's an easy hold regardless.
Yeah. Let's see if Isolde and Rostovchik can hold here, because the send is reasonably big.
That's what she said. But Rostov did harden his Mudman here, so he's going to be very, very fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, both
King Dan's.
Isolde and Rostov are holding easily. King Dan's not that easy actually. Full send would have got him here.
Yeah. And he's not regretting the boost.
No.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And now Pack Rat Gaming kicks in again, of course.
Yeah. I wonder what Rostov and Isolde are aiming for. I think Witherson and Kingdance are fine, just, thinking, okay, when do we go for the next send, and fine just playing for the late game. But I think Rostov and Isolde are looking to get some serious damage done very soon. And I wonder if they go for a wave 8 play, wave 11 play, but there is Sacrifice and there's Pulverizer.
Yeah, 2 defensive spells. There is an offensive spell, but it is counter-attack, which is kind of the least offensive spell on wave 11.
Yeah.
Only a 50 Mythium bonus there. But Rostov, I mean, he's got some workies.
Yeah, they have a lot of Mythium, but I don't think they really want to go 10 into Witherson and Kingdance. Because
No.
Witherson is going to have a doppelganger. And
King Dance is going to have a Kingpin. But they do, and it's
Oh.
a mimic into the Kingpin on 10. Like, he's going to have a Kingpin here, right?
I mean,
It's kind of a low stacked Kingpin.
yeah, it's good against everything else.
It is good against most of things.
Yeah, I mean,
He will
Okay,
get a
but-
Brute to go with it as well if he wants.
yeah, but then the Brute just gets sniped. I don't think it's worth it.
Hmm.
But everyone is sending here, and everyone is going for leaks, except for Isolde, who's just income
Rostov
sending.
has a doppelganger, but it doesn't have lifesteal, and he doesn't have that many tanks in front.
Yeah, it can leak. It can certainly leak, especially against the Brute. But the Brute also gets sniped. This
The
is
Brute
what I
also
mean.
gets
And this one also
and
got
the
sniped.
doppelganger is sniping the pack leader. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks like a leak actually on Rostov. King Dans, how are you doing? You've sniped the Mimic and the Brute. So only the boss remains. All of his Swift tanks keeping the Kingpin alive as long as possible. 47% leak on Rostov, full hold on Isolde, full hold on Witherson, and King Downs, it looks like a very small leak, 25% there. Yeah, I think he's going to be a bit sad that that Mimic died so quickly. He needed that to deal damage against all of those Swift tanks. Easy full cover by Witherson, and not quite the same for Isolde. So first blood will be drawn here on wave 10 for the side of Abrasiet.
Yeah. But what's the next send, really? I mean, you can't plan when King Dance is gonna be really weak, because he has Chaos, so he can just roll good units.
Yep.
But you can work around Witherson, but unfortunately, his first real weak wave is going to be wave 15. But even for wave 15, he can have a Phoenix, which will make him strong there. So it's kind of hard for Rostovchik and Isolde to really go, okay, let's target wave Y and really go for some damage there. But then again, King Dance and Witherson, they also don't really see a very big weak wave on Rostovchik or Isolde that would be worth aiming for, I think.
Yeah. Rostov showing the Fire Lord here.
Yeah.
Ping instantly comes out. So Witherson has spotted that, now knows that Rostov is nowhere near as weak on 13 as they might have hoped.
Yeah. King Dance has Sacrifice with Chaos, by the way,
Yeah.
which is a really strong combination.
Absolutely. Kind of a Pawn Shop light, right? Like the absolute best spell for Chaos is obviously Pawn Shop, but Sacrifice is a pretty good second place.
Absolutely. I wonder if it's just going to be wave 13 sends, because, you know, that's the quote-unquote natural wave to send on after a 10 send.
Yeah.
But
Witherson, with his 17 workers, will he be able to afford double 4-eyes? I think without that, he's going to really struggle to leak Rostovchik's Phoenix, especially with a Pulverizer Doppelganger behind it.
He does, and he does the U play, which is shift 300 gold to not show he has Firelord in his role, to bait the send and have Phoenix. But with this shift, he definitely needs to send to get the Phoenix. So I wonder if they will just go for it. Does he get it with the send even? It's gonna be close.
I think he will get double 4-eyes, but he has to skip income for the second one if that's what he wants to do.
And then he doesn't get Phoenix. Oh.
They save. And there's the Nagla from Rostov.
Get Nagled, my friend.
So Witherson, he has to sell something. He doesn't have Sacrifice, unlike his counterpart.
He doesn't really have something good to sell either. But Firelord is still a good Swift tank.
Wonder if King Dance just sacrifices his Kingpin here.
I don't think he's scared enough to do that. I think if he's scared, he's just gonna boost his Orchids. Yeah,
he
and that's gonna be fine. Oh no, Witherson sold everything. A lot for the Phoenix.
Yeah, and the upper split.
Yeah.
I mean, the Phoenix is going to do its thing, though, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
The 4-eyes, what are you attacking? You're attacking the Doppelganger. So he is going to get rid of that Pulverizer, at least.
Yeah.
But the Phoenix is just absolutely smurfing there for Witherson.
He's leaking the 4-eyes, and King Dance is also leaking because the Nagla is just too strong. And his gate units are doing gate things. Oh, he leaked one creep.
He's leaking the Nagla and a low HP creep and a Brute. This is very little King damage here. Oh, sorry, what am I talking about? This is 50% King damage.
Yeah, this is 50% King damage.
There is a Nagla there is a 4-eyes.
When do they go? Do they go here, or is it 15?
I mean, the answer is whenever they want. They have crazy Mythium stored up on the side of King and Widder. 630 for Widder, 580 for King. They have the worker lead.
But this is where tenacity comes in, right? Now King Dance at Witherson, usually old patch, you just go 15 or even 16 and one-shot. But now you can't one-shot. So is this worth it? Especially since Witherson pushed really hard. Like, after building, he's gonna be minus 400 here. So he's not gonna be super easy holding on 15. He might just leak himself on wave 15. And Rostovchik and Isolde, they are smelling this save, so they are saving themselves to counter send on 15.
They have to send on 15 though. But this could be very dangerous for King and Widder. Like, sure, King Dance is going to get the Ocean Templar on 15, which is giga broken, especially when it's buffing a canopy. He has the Orchids as well, so he can boost those for a bit of extra power. But look at their values. Very, very low value on King Dance and Witherson.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, they can't one-shot, whereas they can easily die.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not so sure this is a good play by them. They shouldn't have pushed this hard after 13.
King Dans is
Like,
leaking no
Widdowson
send,
is... yeah,
which just
King is leaking.
guarantees that Rostov and Isolde will send here on 15.
Yeah, they will full send. They know this.
They have to. They have to full send. If they go income king here, this is a big mistake from these guys.
Yeah. Oh, but without king ups, they might die.
That's true.
So this is the question. If you go
It's a
income
full
king
send.
and... yeah. But
It's
if
a
they
full
had
send.
full attacks, they wouldn't die here, so... Okay, let's see.
The sends are enormous coming out from King Dans and Widdowson,
yeah.
but they took 8% king HP there from 2.5
Yeah.
slugs.
Yeah.
So they really, really can't afford to leak at all here. King Dans can get another Orchid and then boost everything. He still has his sacrifice as well, so that's going to help. And Rostov has the Phoenix with the double Leviathan buff. He has 4 canopies as well. Very, very good tanks on this wave.
Yeah. But he's getting Naggled.
He is getting Noggled. Isolde, he's just going to have
Oh.
value. Well, I don't like the bunk. Really don't like the bunk.
Now they do king attacks, so they want to survive here.
They've done a bit of half and half. Well, we know they can't die with their king attack boosted, but they probably don't win either with 60 Mythium spent on not
Widdowson
mercenaries.
might just hold because he is on the boss with the Pulverizer Doppel.
He is down. Rostov leaks 122%. Lil Bro leaks 114%. This is a lot of king damage, but tenacity, remember.
Widdowson leaks. Widdowson
does
leaks.
leak. King Dans
is close. Might leak as well. Okay,
Yeah, I
let's
think
see
he
how
will
much
leak.
damage does this do.
Let's have a look. King Dans
Does it kill
leak.
them? Do they actually die? Is the Needler this strong?
Is it possible? I think it is.
Do they die? They
What?
one-shot! They one-shot in the finals!
They died!
Against Tenacity, what the fuck?
I didn't realize it was possible.
Damn!
Wow.
Ah,
Okay.
but they only were at 94% king. Okay,
Yeah,
so
big-
that's
Big difference. Big difference.
big difference. Wow.
No.
The balls on these guys to go for a one-shot play in the grand finals against Tenacity. Jesus.
And they made it happen. They would have died. No, maybe they wouldn't have died. They leaked a very low HP boss on King Dans.
But then the game
Wow.
is at least even. If Rostovchik and Isolde survive. Oof,
Yeah.
Jesus. Damn. Well played, King Dance Widdowson.
Holy moly. King Dans and Widdowson 3-0
Jesus.
in this Nova Cup January finals. These guys are not messing around.
No. They want to go back to TFT, I think. Jesus.
Okay.
Man, they played so well. Like, that's incredibly impressive.
I mean, they're just showing us why they're the best players in Legion right now. Like, these guys are just on another level, it seems. Insane plays here from King Dans and Widdowson. And Rostov and Isolde, like, Game 2 and Game 3, they definitely gave it a good fight. Like, both of those games could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Kind of gutted, actually, that they didn't win this game number 3, so that we could at least have another game for the cast. It's a bit of a shame. But, you know, these things happen. King Dans and Widdowson, incredibly strong opponents. There's no shame in losing to these guys.
Oh no, it can happen to the best.
All right. Well, I guess I should see if we can get King Dans and Widdowson in here for a winner's interview.
Yep. Jesus. Those guys are playing so well. Doesn't matter the patch.
Yeah, they're just absolutely obscene. Okay. Widdowson says that he is up for a winner's interview, so let's see if we can hop into one of the channels.
Yeah, I'm down.
Do they have access for this one?
I don't think. I mean, King definitely doesn't. Widdowson probably does, but
Let me see. Then the roles, they are in one of the channels below, so we can move down and say hello to those guys.
yeah, let's just move down.
Let's move. Guys. King Dans, Widdowson. How are you? Oh, hold on, guys. My Discord seems to have crashed. Bear with me 1 second, please. I'm going to have to restart Discord, so I will get that up and running as soon as I can.
Benny?
Hello. Do you hear me?
Hello.
Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Sorry about that. My Discord crashed for a little while. I am here now. Guys, absolutely insane play there. Very, very solid performance.
Yeah, congratulations. You really, really, really played well and really deserved to win this month.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you think that you would be 3-0ing in the Nova Cup finals?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I was so nervous today, honestly.
Yeah.
And when I saw on the loading screen that Isolde is also that far up in Elo, I think that was a completely top 5 game right now, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we didn't expect, or at least I didn't expect a 3-0.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts, right? Like, the guys, they played pretty well. I think game 1 was quite one-sided for you guys, but game 2 and 3 were both pretty close, actually. Like, those ones I feel could have gone either way.
Yeah, the first one was definitely a bit weird, but the other two games, I still think we were ahead, but it was definitely a lot closer.
Yeah. And that game 3, like, wow, you guys really went for the all-in one-shot kill. Like, me and Julian were discussing, we didn't think it was going to work. We thought Tenacity was going to save them and that you guys were going to die to the leaks because your value was so low. But in the end, like, you held well enough that you probably wouldn't have died to your leaks. And even though they had 94% King HP with nearly full King attack, they died in a single leak. Pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was this your game plan all along to just go for like a one-shot kill, or were you thinking, I don't know, we just need to get some damage in and then we'll win on wave 17 or 18?
I think we just we definitely didn't plan that for a long time. We just most of the time look for the next call all the time.
Yeah.
And when we saw the main call why we skip 13 is because we see Rostov Chick at the full Fire Lord on wave 11. That means he definitely didn't push a lot and
Yep.
he wants to add a lot of value to be really strong on 13. So it might always be the case that they try to skip 13. We can't really punish the 13 skip because I can't afford to go double 4-eyes. So it's kind of it's risky to send on 13 because if we send, if it's income king, we don't leak them. If it's for a leak and the Phoenix holds, it's also bad. So it was kind of, it sounds weird, but I think it was the safer play to skip there.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly worked. And then your Phoenix just absolutely smurfed on the wave, not getting the double 4-eye send, and you basically held, right? I think, what did you leak? A single 4-eyes or something like that?
Yeah, something, yeah. One creep and one 4-eyes or so.
Yeah. And King, like, obviously leaked a little bit more, but it was just fine for you guys. And then, yeah, the all-in win on wave 15. Were you ever worried about, like, a resend on 14?
I would say a little bit, yeah. But I asked Wilva if he's holding here, and he said, yeah, he's holding. So I
Okay.
just triple treasure hunted and trusted him.
Trust.
I was barely holding the nose end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have been the first time that you guys have, like, died to a really unexpected resend. I think that happened on wave 11 one time in a finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not today. Not today.
Yeah.
Huh?
Were you guys scared in like game 2 at all after your mole sense on wave 7 didn't really work out? That was the Hydra game where you sent the mole. Hydra
Mm,
Rostovchik and gun on the other guy.
I wouldn't really say scared, because like yeah, they were ahead, but they were ahead because they had Cartel and we also had the Kingpin still.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was still a fine position.
Yeah, that's very fair. And then a bit of a weird play from those guys, I feel like there was overwork available and they wanted to send on 12, but they took loan and just built up the value instead. Kind of felt like a bit of an unforced mistake. And then when you guys sent income on wave 11, were you just pretty sure that they're going to skip and go 13 instead?
I told King I think there's no way I think there's no way they are gonna loan in this game because it just felt awkward this game
Yeah.
to go loan. There was not such a huge save for it. And then that's why we decided to send full income, because if they pick something else and they skip, they might leak. But then on the value we saw that they went double loan, and that's where I told King, okay, if one of those guys was Cartel, then the game is just over now, because
Yeah.
loan and Cartel, and we held so good on 12. Yeah, we knew the game was over then.
Yeah. I feel like they maybe had a pretty good chance if they just saved until 13 or went for an overwork play on 12. Like either of those
Yeah.
choices was possibly better, but you know, it's hard to make the perfect decisions when you're in the tournament setting. You know, nerves kick in, especially playing against Team Abrasiet, the most decorated Legion 2D2 team of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys read like the sense, like also in the semis, you almost always read it correctly when they are sending and whether to go income king or full. Like that was very, very impressive.
Yeah, 100%. So how many cups is that for you guys now? How many wins have you got under your belt?
No idea.
Not sure. Was
Too
it
many to
6
count.
last year or 5? So it might be number 6 or 7 now.
Very cool. Very cool. And very well deserved, guys. Like, you always just play fantastically in these cups. And this month was no exception. It might have been your most, you know, dominating performance so far. 2-0 in the semis, 3-0 in the grand finals. Just making it look easy. Abrasiet, if you will.
Yeah.
It was the first time flawless, I think.
Yeah. yeah,
Usually
no
on
game.
day one we have some tough losses and we are really sweating to get into the semifinal.
Why is that? Do you like? Are you not taking it so seriously on day one? Are you clowning around a little bit, or what's going on there?
Usually we don't clown around, but yeah, probably we don't take it that serious.
Yeah, so you can get caught off guard sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because I think there are definitely some players that play much better in the tournaments than they play in solo queue.
Yeah.
For example, if I look at Shay, it's really impressive how good he's always performing in the tournament. And in solo queue, he has never been that big star. You know, he sometimes is top 10. But yeah, in tournaments, I really was nervous before the semi-final today, because I know we lost against Shay and Xcot twice, and Shay was always playing really good. Also, we lost in duo queue against them yesterday. So yeah, I was really nervous before the semi-final, and then before the final, King and me were pretty relaxed because we knew it's a best of 5 now. So RNG doesn't matter that much, and we're still really confident.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't even need the best of 5, right? You just won in 3.
Yeah, that's better.
Pretty cool to hear the respect for your opponents, though. Like, feeling those nerves going into the semi-final. And Dark Quacker as well, I've got to say, is one of those players who is just way better in tournaments than he is in ladder. Like, he's fine on ladder, but when he plays tournaments, the guy is kind of scary.
Yeah, definitely.
But not scary enough, apparently, for Kingdoms and Widdowson. So, yeah, gotta say, extremely well played for you guys. A bit of a shame that we didn't get to see some more Legion. I would have loved at least a 3-game semi and a 5-game finals. You know, that's what we all want to see. But you can never be disappointed when you see such very high quality Legion. So massive congratulations to you guys. Commiserations to the losers. And yeah, I think that's about all we have time for in this January Nova Cup. So, King Dans, Willison, any final words from you guys?
I don't think so.
Was the stream long enough for the viewers to collect all the drops?
I mean, I suppose I can just leave it running after the winner's interview. We can hop off here. I can put the schedule screen on, and anyone who hasn't got their drops can collect them in the AFK screen. Yeah, we shouldn't be penalising the people because the finals was a 3-0, right? So I think it's probably fair to leave the stream running for half an hour or so.
Or maybe you have to hop on solo queue now
No,
and do
no.
some clowning entertainment.
Oh, Willison, I've been playing Legion non-stop today. The kids have been out today, so I've just been playing all day long with Julian and Green, and it's been a lot of fun. But I've been in front of Legion for about 12 hours now, and I think it's time for a break.
Okay, I guess that means you don't love your chat. You don't love the Legion community.
Wow.
It's fine. We get
You're gonna do me like that, are you, Willison?
Somebody just wrote in chat, we deserve 1 hour 30 minutes outro.
Wink, wink.
Oh God, no.
You know what your job is.
I definitely can't provide 1 hour 30 minutes of content. I think the best I can do is the schedule screen, I'm afraid. Guys, very, very well played. Burnt, thank you as always for casting with me. It's been a real pleasure. Massive.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Massive shout out to all of the tournament organisers who make this possible, the developers for making the game that we all love, and a big shout out to everybody in the Twitch chat. We've had some really good viewer numbers this month, so that's been amazing to see. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and remember, tune in next month in February for the next Nova Cup. We will see you there. Goodbye.